Hello beautiful, welcome back to my channel and welcome to this video where I am just gonna get ready. I just did my nails today, a little bit Halloween-y, and I just want to talk. I don't even know when this video is going up, but honestly I want to talk. My mental health has been a little bit shaky lately. It's been in the drain and I want to chat about life and how I'm feeling and why I haven't been as consistent on YouTube as I usually am. I feel like I've been a really consistent YouTuber, and maybe you haven't even noticed that I haven't been consistent, but I don't know. I just want to talk. I think that's it. I am the person that overshares on the internet, and this is going to be a big old demonstration of that. And I brought out a bunch of makeup that honestly I was just feeling like I wanted to use. None of these are new makeup. All of these are like either oldies but goodies or stuff that I've been using before. Like this foundation. This is the Natasha Denona. I don't know if you can see, but I have like just, oh, you think you can see. I don't have that much left of this one. It's like a fourth left in this, and I shook it before, and I don't know if you can see how little is left, but I feel very motivated to like use this one a little bit. This used to be my absolute favorite foundation and I want to use it again. That's how I feel. So none of these are going to be new products. I just shopped my stash for stuff that I really like and wanted to use, and that was basically it. I am usually the person that's super consistent. I am like clockwork. I upload my videos at basically the same time every morning, US time, and I have been like that for years, just being very consistent and just enjoying being consistent. But I will say that my mental health has not been the best. And if you didn't know, maybe you're new on my channel, but I've been diagnosed with clinical depression, which is not just feeling a little bit sad, it's actual clinical depression, when I was 17 actually, and then I got re-diagnosed again when I was 20, and then again when I was, what could I have been, 29, 30? I was probably 30 or 31. I got diagnosed again, well, for the third time's the charm, so it's clear to see that this is just something that I'm gonna have to learn to live with, and honestly, I feel like I have. But I do have my ups and downs, and one way for me to deal with it is just to kind of accept. I kind of accept that I have my ups and downs, and I don't get upset with myself, because part of depression for me, this is just me speaking out of my experience, and I understand that a lot of people watching me also have problems with your mental health, and I've seen your comments, and even though it's like super nice to know that you're not alone, I also feel very sad because I don't want anyone to go through anything like that. But for me, with my mental health, one of the things that helped me coping with it has been almost like letting myself like feel the feelings and just be like, you are sad right now, and it's not because of maybe anything specific. Sometimes it is something specific and sometimes it's not. But the thing is that I feel like I've been feeling more of the bad things as of late, and I think part of it is because I talked about that in a recent video that I had a cyst, and they weren't sure whether or not it was cancer, and there was a couple of months this summer where I was just dealing with, you know, your own mortality, because they were like, oh, it could be cancer, and it's like, okay, well, that's not ideal now. It turned out to not be that, and somebody put in my comments, because I said that a lot of you gave some really smart and thoughtful comments, and that's one of the things why I feel so safe talking to you, because you give such smart and thoughtful comments. I am so happy to have this amazing community of just grown-ups that are smart and considerate and just educated around me, and I really like that. And a lot of you are saying that when you go through stuff like that, it's not that easy to just let it go. And I was feeling, parts of me was feeling like I was silly or stupid or just, I don't know, just over exaggerating, because I was still feeling sad even after they told me that, like, oh, you know what, it's not cancer. But also, and someone was telling me it could be survivor's guilt. And I didn't even think of that before I read that, because I remember going out from the clinic, because I was at a cancer clinic doing all of these things. I was at a cancer clinic, and I remember when I went out and I talked to my husband, because he was waiting for me in the waiting room, and he was like, he obviously he went there with me, but I didn't want him to come with me. I don't know. It's sometimes I like to deal with things on my own, which I know it's also not a good thing, but I'm a very independent person, and I don't want someone to feel pity for me or to think that I need help if I don't ask for help. And I'm very, very grateful that my husband knows this. So he was waiting for me in the waiting room, and I was texting him and like letting him know stuff. But then eventually I got this like, well, you're fine, you can go home, like, oh, just brush this off, everything is fine. And I went out in the waiting room and I talked to my husband, and I looked around and I was like, well, I get to go home now and everything is fine, but there are so many people here in the waiting room waiting for me, and I'm at a cancer clinic. And I felt guilty that like there were people in this waiting room that probably had not gotten that same positive result as me. So I didn't want to seem happy or joyous, and I didn't want to seem relieved, because I felt guilty that I got to walk out of this clinic and not return, or at least not now. And there were some people that might have to return so many times, and I don't know. I know I shouldn't feel like that, because of course, like, I should be grateful and all that, but sometimes it's hard. This whole like you should be grateful, it's a hard thing to deal with. And it's been one of those things that is not this right brush, sweetie. Oh, here. That is one of those things that I have had a hard time dealing with my depression, is the whole you have nothing to be sad about. And a depression is not about like not having anything to be sad about. And that's not what a depression is at all. I mean, for me, part of my depression is that I feel down and it's for no reason whatsoever. And then I feel extra down because here I am being ungrateful and just feeling sad and hopeless and just anxiety ridden for no reason. I have nothing to be sad about. I have a lovely life, and I'm gonna be a little bit deep, but I have definitely had periods in my life where I've felt not so keen on continuing, and I have had to stay home for those reasons for several times. For doctors, they didn't let me go back to work because they didn't think that I was like dealing with my emotions in the best way. And I will say, if there's one thing that I actually did get to feel during this whole thing with going through the ultrasounds and going through the mammograms, is that I actually don't want to leave. I like my life. And that made me very grateful to just be like, you know what, I like my life, I like my husband, I like my friends, I like my pets, and I have my family, and I like my life, and I like me, and I'm not done. I don't feel done with everything. And I remember thinking that like I wasn't ready. And I remember thinking that I was grateful that I was having those feelings, because a fear of death for me was a nice thing, because it meant that I was actually keen on staying. And if you've never dealt with those feelings, it might be hard to understand. But for me, it just made me not happy, but a little hopeful that, like, if nothing else, at least I discovered that. I don't know if that makes sense at all. I actually dug this one out. I mean, this isn't particularly old, but I love this bronzer, and I've been trying to use other bronzers for a bit, but I love this one and I want to use it. I love this one so much. I think it's so pretty. I have mine in Toastin'. It's from the Give Beauty bronzer duo. I will link all the things down below in case you're interested. Like I said, none of these products are new products. It's just stuff that I dug out of my collection. I went through and I was like, what foundation have I not used in a bit? And what concealer have I not used in a bit? And it's just fun to shop my stash and just... Because here's the thing. I love makeup. I love makeup so much. I love playing with makeup. I love swatching makeup, but all of all, I love using my makeup and just doing looks and having fun. And I feel like that is definitely my hair. I feel like this past couple of months, and I mean, I understand it is that. Are you thinking that that's my head? Should I be insulted? I feel a little insulted. I feel like these past months, there's been so many releases from so many of my favorite brands. And of course, I'm like super grateful that I'm getting PR, and I'm super excited for my favorite brands that they're having these opportunities, and that they are like, that they're doing so well that they're able to release products. But I'm like, it's hard in a positive way when you have like 8 brands that you love and all of them are releasing stuff in the same month. You're so happy and you're so grateful that you're getting them in PR, but at the same time, you kind of have to pick and choose a little bit between the releases. Oh my, it's a long hair. Because you cannot do dedicated videos on all of them. You just do not have time to do several looks, even though you get to use them, of course, outside of YouTube and play and stuff, but the workday is only so long. And sometimes I feel like I think that I have an endless pool of work hours, and I think I have an endless pool of hours to film and edit and upload on YouTube. But the truth of the matter is that you don't want me to upload 2 million like videos on a bunch of releases. You want me to be a little bit picky too. And it's like, yeah, it's hard to choose when you have so many pretty things coming in. What are the things that's gonna be featured? And then sometimes you feel like I feel today when I'm just like, I just want to play with my makeup. I just want to dig into the things that I have and love and just, I don't know, play with that. I actually have not bought any. Well, that's not true. I bought the. Where is it? I don't know where it is, but I bought that Natasha Denona palette. But that's the only thing I've bought so far in October. And I'm feeling pretty good about that. Is this a good color for me? I feel like I'm somewhere in a good space. I feel like I'm in a good space. Oh, and I brought out my High Glass powder by NYX. I used to love this so much. I think I'm just gonna brush a little bit on my high points. I don't know why I stopped using it. I think it's because I was more into matte makeup for a bit and I just stopped using it. But it is a beautiful powder that just gives, I don't know why I'm promoting this powder when it's like discontinued since years back, but I hope that they bring back something. And I was hoping that the new melt powder was going to be this, but I personally don't think that they are the same. This one is so much more natural on the skin. I feel like the okay, let me rephrase. If you have a cool skin tone, you might like the one from Melt better, but I have a warm skin tone and I like this from NYX better because this one melts into my skin and the other one just makes me look a little gray. I'm gonna do my brows. Ooh, and then I have some blushes and highlighters. Oh, and I have this beautiful lipstick. Let me do my lip liner actually. And then I'm gonna put on lipstick that I haven't worn in so long. So I did my brows, and here's the thing. I was doing a little research this morning because I wanted to film some more videos. There are more chatty videos talking about makeup. So I was going through my own videos and just being like, what have I filmed before and what would I like to film again? So I found a couple of videos that I put it in my like to film list, and one of them I'm actually gonna film after this. And in the video, I was wearing this stunning lipstick and I was like, what is that lipstick? What am I wearing? What am I wearing? I need to wear that right now. And it was this one from Charlotte Tilbury in Super Fabulous. So I dug that one out and I was like, we're definitely doing that today. Look at this. Such a beautiful color. And I am pretty sure I bought this in Italy when I was there with my husband. Because I think I did, because they have Charlotte Tilbury at Sephora in Italy. That is such a stunning color. I am a big fan. I also found this super blush in terracotta from Persona, and I have not used this in a hot minute. And I also wanted to use this one from Pixi. This one is in Peach Dew, which is like a blush highlight hybrid, and I just have not used either of these in a hot minute. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about in this video was the thing that I talked about in the beginning, that I feel like I haven't been as consistent as I normally am. And I don't mean that as a way of like berating myself, of saying like, oh my god, I'm so lazy. It's more that I get frustrated with myself that I'm just not as on the ball as I usually am. But I've been very busy. And I've been busy with stuff that's been fun, like vacations, hanging out with family. But some of the times that have been like, oh, I should be working, I just have been so tired, mentally tired, that I just haven't had it in me to film. And I feel like I need, oh, this is so pretty. I feel like I need a little time to just be inconsistent and just allow myself to not film if I don't feel like it. Because here's the thing, every time I say that I'm like struggling with my mental health, I always get people saying, oh, just take a break from YouTube. Makeup is my happy place. Makeup is what I do when I feel down or when I feel sad. So I don't necessarily need a break from YouTube or like makeup itself. If I don't feel like filming, and this is what I'm saying, if I don't feel like filming, I'm just not gonna film. But I mean, YouTube is something I started to be a happy place, to be an escape from life. So sometimes I will film because that will make me happy. But I also will allow myself to not film if I would rather just play video games. And I know sometimes as a YouTuber, you will get comments like, you're so lucky that you can just not show up to work. And YouTube is not passive income. Whoever told you that, you have to be getting a lot of views on your old videos for YouTube to be a passive income. YouTube is very much an active income. If I don't upload, I'm not getting paid. I will, but like the difference between a new video and an old video is paying my rent versus not paying my rent. So if I don't upload a single video 1 month, the amount of money I'm getting on the videos that are already uploaded is not enough. So I think that that's something to keep in mind when you're telling YouTubers that they are lucky that they can take a break. Most YouTubers cannot take a break because this isn't passive income for most of us. So when we take a break from YouTube, or when we take vacation, or when we not upload for a little bit, we're also not getting paid for that time. And I know that there are people that are getting a lot of views on their older videos, but for most YouTubers, that just isn't the case. You get the most views on the videos that you are uploading at this very moment. So I can't just not upload at all. But in that regards, I'm very lucky that I actually love YouTube and I love makeup, but I will allow myself to not be as consistent if I feel like I don't want to be. Because I really need to get out of this rut. That's the absolute honest truth. I need to get out of this rut, and I need to feel a little bit more like myself. And if that means that I'm waking up one day feeling like I want to play League of Legends for a day, I am gonna allow myself to do that in a way that I might not have done before, but just like, I just want to feel more like me again. So if you, like, for example, last week, I don't think I uploaded a video on Wednesday or Thursday. I think I uploaded a vlog instead. I didn't have any videos. I didn't have any videos, and I didn't want to stress film anything because life. Honestly, life. I actually want to play with my own palettes. These are the palettes that I did together with Oden's Eye. This is the Halloween collection. I am gonna be playing mostly... Honestly, I don't know, but I'm gonna start with the orange. I'll just show you some quick swatches of these palettes just so you can see what they look like. But I think I'm gonna start with the orange, honestly, and I think I might go into a little purple. This is the little ghost palette. So yeah, these two palettes, this collection, there's also 5 lippies in this collection. It's still available. It's limited edition, and when it sells out, it is most probably not coming back. We do have some left, but it is like, it's a Halloween themed release, so obviously we're not keeping it around for forever. And I think we sold out of all of the extra gifts that were available. But I'm gonna start with the jack-o'-lantern. That is this one right here. And I am just gonna be, you probably cannot hear that, but that was the neighbor's dog just going absolutely bonkers. Also, one of the things that I have realized with myself, I don't know if you've been here for a bit, you probably will remember me saying that after COVID, I wanted to be a yes man. I wanted to be the person that says yes to any kind of invitation. And it's kind of bit me in the butt, because now I'm getting a lot of fun invitations to things, and I'm almost overcommitting to the point, wait, can I come a little closer? I don't want to be super close because I want to be like talking, but we can be a little closer. So I've almost been like overcommitting, and I've realized something, and I talked with my husband about this because we went to this trip together with my husband's father, so my father-in-law and his partner. The 4 of us went to the Grand Canyon, we went to Bryce, and we also went to Zion. And it was an amazing trip. It was super beautiful, but it wasn't in the best, I mean, it wasn't in my best interest probably to have done that trip. I'm happy I did it, but also it was just not right time-wise for me. And I actually told my husband, like, I told him, like, my social battery is done. I depleted, I don't have it in me. The last day I even told them, I'm like, I need to stay behind. I need to be with myself. I'm not trying to be rude. I don't have it in me. And I tried to explain to my husband afterwards. I said, it's not that I don't, and he knows this from before. I said that it's not that I'm not happy that I went, but in a way I feel like I almost like did this to myself. I should have been a little bit more clear with him, because I remember saying, I don't know if October will be a good time because I'm so busy in October. And then I was like, you know what, we'll figure it out. And then I was like, I don't know if I have time for a 5-day trip. Maybe we can make it 3 days. And then he was like, oh, I don't know if we'll be able to see all the things we want to see during 3 days. And I was like, okay, I can probably make 5 days. I wish I was better at saying no. And I am so extremely good at saying no in work environments. Oh, I am like straight just no. We're not doing that. Absolutely not. Put that down. No. Back out. We're not doing that. I always have been that in work situations. I'm never doing anyone favors to be nice that I don't want to do in a work environment. I'm never being like coerced into doing work tasks that is out of my work description or doing unpaid overtime. I never have done that in my work environment. I've always been very good with setting boundaries. But if it's one thing that I've noticed is that when it comes to my personal life or my social life, I'm awful at putting boundaries. Because my worst nightmare is that someone that I like and that I respect dislikes me or is disappointed in me or feels like I am lazy or unappreciative or non-committal or anything like that, which, if I'm gonna be honest with myself, I don't think anyone that likes me sees me in that way. I don't think any of my friends or my family sees me in that way. If I'm gonna be totally honest, like, I am a very loyal, generous, and an easygoing person. I am not picky. I'm not complainy. But I am so afraid that people will see me that way. Strangers could not care less. If I don't know you and you feel that way about me, that just tells me that I don't want to know you. So it's just very easy for me to just see past that, because like, we don't have a relationship, and you disliking me without us having a relationship just tells me that there's no point in me even trying to get to know you. So when it comes to strangers, could not care less. Literally could not care less. And I know some people are like, you know, negative comments on YouTube and stuff like that. It doesn't really become me. Like, I don't care that much. I have to be in a negative mindset for that to get to me. But like normal Angie, I don't care if strangers don't like me. That's okay. I don't like you either. That's mutual. If you're being rude to me for no reason, that's okay. I don't like you either. But when it's people I like, or people that I used to like, or someone that I respect, then it does get to me. And I don't think that my friends or my family or my husband, especially not, I don't think that if I told him no, I really cannot, I really don't have time, I don't think that he would be mad at me. Why would he? But something is holding me back and I overcommit. And that's one thing. I actually talked to my husband about this, and I said I feel like I overcommit and I say yes to things even though I know that I should say no, but I'm just so afraid to make people disappointed. And I feel like that's actually one of the things that me and my husband really have. I mean, we have a lot of things going for us, but we have really good communication and we have a very easy time talking to each other about difficult things. And I know that's not for everyone. I know that there are definitely people. I'm actually gonna go into the licorice shade, the dark purple. This one, I'm gonna use that. I know for a lot of people, communication is really hard, but me and my husband have a really easy time. Not easy time, but we can talk about difficult things. And I feel very safe telling him, giving him like vulnerable information, or like bearing my soul, or saying that like I'm sad or that something is difficult for me, because I know that he's never gonna judge me for it and he's always gonna like hear me out. And I realize that that is a very good trait, and I'm very grateful that that is how my husband views me and how he treats me. But I told him that, and I told him, in the future, if you hear me being a little hesitant, or if you hear me being like, oh, I don't know, that is me wanting to say no, but not knowing how. So in that moment, if you just go like, okay, we'll try and figure it out in some other way, I will be internally grateful. And then maybe with time, I will be even better at knowing that, like, because of course, like subconsciously, I think that like it's gonna bother people, but then like smart Angie, like Angie that's not in her thoughts or in her head or not dealing with any kind of problems, she knows that he's not going to be mad with her because she says no. But like, it's not that easy to be logical when it comes to mental health. I mean, isn't that like, if you ever dealt with mental health, there's been at least one person in your life that told you like, you know, is it the Barney? When I feel sad, I just feel awesome instead. Like, we've all had that person that's like, oh, just get over it. And it's like, oh, gee, thanks. Aren't you the genius? Imagine if I have just done that. Oh, here I am being so silly. Literally spent 22 years being depressed and sad and just crying in bed and having panic attacks when I could have just not. Oh my god, we've all had that person that's just like, why don't you just go and do something fun and you'll get over it and not think about it. Gee, thanks, Susan. I didn't think about that. You're so smart. Somebody should give you a Nobel Prize. I think I'm gonna do a little bit of the purpley little ghost as well. I don't know. I just want to play a little bit. Just gonna buff that over, basically. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just having a little bit of fun playing with some colors together. I feel like purple and orange is very Halloween-y, and I wanted to do something that was like not super... I'm saying that now. I was gonna say not super bright, but I haven't used any shimmers yet, so I probably should not be making promises like that, Angie, because you have no idea. And I'm just putting a little bit more on the orange on the edge here. Of course, like mixing an orange and a purple together is gonna bring a little bit of muddiness, so we are okay with having a little bit, but honestly, I think that that looks pretty dope. I think we're gonna do the Omnius a little bit, and maybe, you know what? I think I'm gonna do the Omnius. I don't know. This is me being unsure. Because I might want to do some of the matte, and I don't know what I want to do, but I'm gonna do some of the shimmer here. I don't know what I'm doing. Famous last words. You know what? I might do that and then do Zombie, which is the more lavender purple. This is just me, honestly, just finishing up my look. And I'll put that here. Ooh, that is turning out to be really pretty. That's exactly what I had in mind. Okay, I'm happy I did that. Let me clean off this brush, and then I'm gonna do, you know what? I'll do Skeleton, which is the purpley, like a lavender pastel, and I'll do that here. Maybe I should get rid of some of that, and I'll do the lavender pastel in the inner corner, and then just meeting up here. I'm gonna put some lashes on, but I really like the eye look. It looks really cute. Maybe orange in my waterline, or should I do purple because I have purple closest? Purple will probably be better, right? I feel like purple will be better. Oh, I have some new lashes. These are actually new. These were sent to me by Lily Lashes, and they asked me if I wanted, they asked me if I wanted to try some lashes, and I told them I basically only use half lashes, and they sent me a full box of just half lashes. So let me see, I can't get into any of this. I need a scissor to get into the scissors. So these are in butterflies, ha ha ha, in Sassy. So they look not too dramatic. So I think that these will be really nice. And I don't think I need to trim them, but I might need to cut off. Sometimes there are like just stuff that's like on the outside that you need to take off. Things that will poke you. I don't want to be poked. But let me see if this is a good size. Yeah. Nice. Let me put on one of these and we can see how it looks. I think I got some glue from them as well, right? Oh, it's over here. Is that the glue? Yeah. Lash adhesive. Let me put one on. So this is one half lash on. I prefer something that is a little longer, but this is very a bent lash. I don't know if you can see, it's very bent, and sometimes I like a lash that's like more straight so that I can put it on myself and get it to be longer. I don't know if that makes sense, but I do think that this is really pretty, honestly. And even when you see it from the side, I mean, that looks really cute. You know what? I like it. I don't even know if I made any kind of sense whatsoever in this video. I just wanted to chat. And I also wanted to let you know why I have not been uploading the way that I usually upload, or the way that I say that I'm gonna upload. Oh, why do I feel like something is like not the way it's supposed to be? I just have been going through it, and I have been allowing myself to let life just be not about the grind, not about the hustle. I'm not really about hustle culture either, to be honest. I have never been the person that's like live to work. I've never been that person, so there's no need for me to be that now either. If I can just, you know, make ends meet and have a nice life, I don't need to be wealthy. I don't need to be the richest person in the graveyard. That's never been my goal. So I'm just trying to take care of myself, because I've always said like, oh, work-life balance, but then I fail at it miserably. So I don't know. But also, like, I like this. So it's hard. It's hard when you, this sounds stupid, but it's hard to work less when you love your job. But I love it, but it also exhausts me, and it also doesn't help my mental health when I don't give myself space to just be. And I think that that is what I need right now. I need some space to just be. And I'm actually even thinking that I might do some things just for me, because I've talked about this before. I'm gonna briefly just sum this up, but I'm not an extrovert and I'm not an introvert, but someone gave me the word for it, but now I don't remember, something flexi blah blah blah. But basically I love being alone, thriving on my own and just being in my own bubble, and it gives me energy up until it no longer does, and I just kind of feel lonely instead, and I just want to be around people. And that's when I become almost like an extrovert. Like I want to be around people because I feel lonely, and I get so much energy from being around my friends, staying together in hotels, planning things, being around people 24/7, up until I no longer does. And then it takes energy from me instead, and I need to be alone. And I feel great being alone up until I no longer do, and I feel lonely instead. So it goes in cycles, and I need to be with people and then alone. With people and then alone. And lately I've been more with people than I've been alone. And yesterday I talked to my husband about this when we were at a trip, and then I came home and I told him, he was like, do you want to do something, or do you just want to be alone? And I am so grateful that I am married to someone who can say that and actually understand that, like, it's not about you. It's not about me not wanting to spend time with my husband. It's just that I need to be alone. So we actually finished watching Ahsoka. I think you can see that it says Tano on my shirt. I bought this on Etsy. It's so pretty. I will link it down below. Hopefully it's still available. We watched the final 2 episodes of the Ahsoka series. Absolutely loved it. And then I went and I played some games all by myself, and it was amazing. It was so amazing. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm trying to reach any kind of conclusion in this video. I just want to talk. I know I'm an oversharer, and it also opens me up for even more criticism, but I've also, before, I've been that person that always, I kept all the negative comments on my channel because I've been like, if you want to be an idiot on my channel, sure, I'll show everyone. But lately I've actually been deleting some stuff because I'm like, you know what? There are forums for this. There are forums where all people do is talk about how much they dislike people. Why don't you just spend time there instead? You're like, you don't, this is my space. This is my home. This is my crib. And you're coming into my place and just leaving a note on the wall saying that I'm an idiot, and you expect me to keep it up? No, take your note when you leave on the way out. I don't need that. That's okay. Thank you very much. So I think that I've been better at clearing out, because I want my comment section to be a positive place, because at the very core, I am a positive person. I hope this wasn't too much of a bummer. I hope you're having an absolutely amazing day. I'm actually having a pretty good day today. I did my nails. I had breakfast at Starbucks, which is something that I never do. I had a really nice walk home. I've talked to my friends. I've cuddled with my dogs. I am playing with makeup. I really, really enjoyed this makeup look. So you know what? I'm having a pretty good day today. And I will see you soon. I don't know if it's gonna be tomorrow, but I will see you soon in a new video. Bye!